Welcome to Anita Talks History and Genealogy. So glad you all could join me. I hope this video is helpful to everyone that tunes in. I hope it gets you to thinking, to wanting to ask questions, to wanting to do research. Um, my channel is about genealogy and history. It's about uh, how I spent over 30 years documenting my ancestors who were, I come to find out, indigenous. Um, I was told that early on that they were native, that we were native to Pennsylvania, um, that we were Mohawk, that we were Susquehanna, um, Conestoga. You know, this is from my mother. Um, a mixture of, even some Seneca. And the reason being that those tribes were being hunted down and, you know, um, they were being killed because the colonizers, the settlers, were coming in with guns, taking their land and taking their, not only their land, taking their histories away, taking their children away. Um, so it started there. So that's how I got started, trying to find out the truth, which was being hid. We were not being taught anything about the truth of who our ancestors were, except by my mother. And my mother was the first historian that would sit down and tell us, this is who you are. This is our land. This is our people's land. This is where we come from. So that is how I got started, and it took 30 years because most of the history's buried. It's buried, in records like the records of the counties. And some of the information about the counties, with the counties was messed up because of the boundaries. They would set up another county. And so the information would either, might go to another county. So you had to sit down and figure out what county it was in, because my ancestor might live in this county, that they cut that county in half and make another county. And the records go to the other county. And the same way with the states. Okay, so that's how all that started. So before I, begin sharing again, let me say that I want you guys to hit the like and subscribe button, and we do have subscriptions, paid subscriptions now. We're also going to have different things like cups and shirts and jackets that's going to have our insignia on it. Got a store that's about to be set up, and we want to keep it going. We want more people to be a part of this growing movement. And I'm planning to have a workshop online for those who are interested, who have personal questions. And I'm planning that for the 22nd of November, which is on a Saturday. Okay, but this week, I wanted to get to that. This week, we had this election that had more excitement than the presidential election. But don't tell Donald Trump that, because he was all in his feelings, or he is all in his feelings, even though he said that the reason that Mamdani won for the mayor of New York City was because Trump, was not on the ballot. You're the president, Trump. Why would you be on the ballot for the mayor of New York City? That makes no sense. He was saying, oh, people weren't excited because I wasn't on it. People were excited to make sure that nobody else like you got into office, like that so-called sister in Virginia that was running as a MAGA, you know, supporter. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And she definitely ain't no kinfolk. Um, so she's running, and the person that was running against her in Virginia was a better candidate, had support from the Democratic Party. Obama came, spoke on her behalf, and nobody came to speak on the sister's behalf because she ain't a real sister. She, you know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That's the MAGA, sister. And just had a nasty attitude even after she lost. She wasn't, you know, she had that Trump attitude, you know, in blackface. And so she's upset that she lost. Then New Jersey, you know, got a governor that was supported by the Democrats. I mean, we swept out the ballot, up and down, up and down. And here in California, Proposition 50 passed. Yes, indeed. And I cannot believe how butthurt the Republicans are that Proposition 50 passed here, which was a voter initiative. We, the voters, said we want to do what they did in Texas. We want to have that right. In Texas, they gerrymandered. They didn't even put it up for a vote. They just had that mostly the Republicans come out and rewrite the districts without even asking the voters. And then they have a nerve to say they're going to sue California. You know, not the Texas people, I don't think. I think that's Trump talking that stuff. He always want to sue somebody. And shame on the people who didn't put him in prison when they should have. Shame on them. 34 times convicted felon, president of the United States. And then people act surprised when he does things that criminals do. He's a criminal. Oh, anyway. And he's in the Caribbean killing innocent fisher, you know, people that are out there fishing, you know, for a living, trying to get food. I'm saying they're innocent because they killed them, and like what do they say here? Innocent until proven guilty. There was no court that these people were tried in. They are just down there killing, shooting at, or throwing bombs, or what the heck ever they're doing. They're bombing these shipping vessels, like just that are out there getting food, you know? And then the media ignores it. Or either the media implies that, oh, he's right about that. They are all drug dealers. That's all the Caribbean is used for, is drug dealing. It's not used for anyone to go fishing, you know, to have food for their families. Everybody there is a drug dealer. So should they look at us, the United States, and say everybody there is a felon? Because obviously our president is one, 34 times convicted felon, okay? I mean, it just boggles my mind. And if that was South Americans or Africans or anyone doing that to the United States, the UN, the ICC would have been intervened. Nobody's intervening. They are allowing this to happen and making veiled threats. And then they want to go after Mamdani for saying that if Netanyahu comes to New York, he's going to arrest him. There's an arrest warrant out for Netanyahu. Why wouldn't he arrest him? Any law-abiding citizen, you know, or a law-abiding politician would look at him as being arrestable, okay? And so so this is what's going on. And it's really kind of like some kind of weird drama. And here he is throwing a Halloween party a Great Gatsby Halloween party the day before the first, on Halloween, and then the next day, making sure that all of the SNAP and the EBT and the food benefits are withheld from people. The people he's actually supposed to be serving as President of the United States. This is DJT, you all's president, right? And the East Wing is being demolished. I mean, there's so much drama going on, even a soap opera couldn't keep up with it. So he's demolishing the East Wing. The people that he hired are now suing him because he's not paying them. Did you all read? Do you all know who Trump is? I'm beginning to wonder if people actually are literate in this country. He has a history of not paying contractors. Come on, y'all. Them buildings with his name on them, the contractors built in New York City, he didn't pay the contractors. They had to sue him. And he kept them in court for years. I don't believe he's paid those people yet. He doesn't pay people. He takes. He doesn't give. He doesn't pay. He doesn't do anything that is required by law because he believes he is above the law. And then he has the brain dead following him, talking about he's some godly person. It's a mess. I mean, these people lie and cheat and steal. And this is basically what the country was founded on. Come on. This is what the country was founded on. He's just unabashedly going back to the roots, talking about make America great again. That's what he's talking about. During and after slavery and during Jim Crow, when everything, anybody that was of any importance looked like him, but they also were rapists. They were also thieves. They were also murderers. They were passing laws that limited the movement of people of color, Native American, indigenous people. That's why the natives are on reservations and not on the land that their ancestors, lived on for thousands and thousands of years. The laws that they're using against us, the people, the indigenous people of these lands, they are making laws that only we are under. They're not under those laws that are passing. They find a way out. And, this is not complaining. This is just the truth, because we have been known the truth. We have been known this. This is who they are, them folk. And then every time we say it, then another one will come up and say, but I'm not like that. Why are you saying that? Because if you're not like that, I'm not even talking to you. The people who are like that, who approve of that, and who want us to live under their laws that only apply to us, they know who they are. And they're, Trump is just the, latest iteration of them. There's, the Bushes. Come on. Think about it. And it wasn't all Republicans either. It wasn't all Republicans. The Republicans just don't know how to do it as under the table as some of the Dems that do it. Some of the Dems that have come through, they've done a lot of undercover shit, excuse my language, but we need to think about what's going on, and the fact that it's not anything new. There's nothing new under the sun. They've been doing this, and they're continuing. They will continue as long as we the people allow it, as long as we the people don't educate our own selves. You know, they don't want us to read history because our liberation is in the history books. That's why they don't want us reading that history. That's why, you know, but they can burn all the books that they want to, but that knowledge, which is the ancestral knowledge, nobody is going to be able to stop that. No one can stop that. You know, we know, we the people know the truth when we hear it. We know intuitively who these people are, that they're liars. And the power that they get is from many of us, the majority of people believing them and letting them come up to us with another con that's going to benefit them. They don't have anything that's going to benefit us. They don't know. They don't have the capacity to even think beyond themselves. They're not even, you know, Trump. I don't even think he cares about his own. You know, his own niece doesn't even like him. You know, his family doesn't like him. The children, well, they pretended because they want to be close to them. You know, the benefits of all the cons that he's running. But we, the folks that are just, you know, sitting back watching this mess, it's just like, these people, you know, they done voted him in office. They praise him. And I find it interesting on Twitter that they have all these bots and trolls that have nothing but praise for Trump. You know it's not no real people, because all you have to do, if you're on Twitter or X rather, you know, look at them profiles. They don't even have a picture of themselves. It's just bots and trolls. And it sounds just like DJT praising, you know how he praises himself. Okay. So, yeah. But it's, you know, this too shall pass. You know, that person is running his own self into the ground. We don't have to do anything. He's running himself into the ground. He's not done anything that's benefited the United States of America, the taxpayers, or anyone other than those who are already wealthy. I saw something before I tuned in, or, you know, came to the video, where Elon Musk is getting $1 trillion more through Tesla. You see, they give each other that money. But when you give yourselves that kind of money, how does it benefit you? If you're just sitting on the money, how does it benefit you? Because they already have this alternative currency. Well, China, the yuan is overtaken the dollar, and there's BRICS, which is the Brazil and Russia and India and China and South Africa and other African and other countries are joining in, and they are no longer using the dollar. So they have their own currency, and also they also use the yuan. So we're in more trouble than we think we are, because folks are just looking at the United States when there's other stuff going on, because they got military. This country has military all over the world. The money is running out. So what's going to happen with the military? You know, what's going to happen when Trump is talking about attacking Venezuela? What's going to happen? Who's going to fight a war against Venezuela when Trump does not want any black folks in the military? He don't want no women in the military. He don't want no gays in the military. He don't want no trans in the military. He don't want no money in the military. He's got all these, these people in the military are on food stamp. You know, he's taking the money from the military. Who's going to fight the war that he's talking about starting in Venezuela, or the one that he's talking about starting in Nigeria, or the one that Israel wants him to fight in Iran, in the Middle East? How is this all going to happen? It sounds like insanity to even repeat what the man puts out there. It sounds like insanity. And I think that even repeating it gives it life that it should not have. But I think that we, the people, need to be aware of where our money is going, and aware that we are not beloved in the world. Right now, we're probably the most despised nation in the world. There is no love for the United States of America or any imperialist country. And so like I say, when I think about Palestine, I also think about the Sudan. I think about the Democratic Republic, the DRC, the Congo, and the people who are dying needlessly. And the fact that this country is backing those people who are going in and destabilizing those countries. And for what? For what? They don't see human life as valuable unless it's their lives. Everybody except them is dispensable. And don't forget it. And also, let's continue to do what we're doing. Mind our own, black business. Those people who had an issue with us, or they're trying to make it an issue with us with these food stamps and stuff like, I don't think so. I think you need to look in the mirror, and I think you need to look at those fingers that are pointing at you, because I think you all are the ones that all that social services was made for. I don't think it was black and brown people. But again, you didn't, Trump and his, not just Trump, but there was nobody wanted DEI. Nobody. But I never heard of DEI until they said, oh, they're getting rid of this diversity, equity, and inclusion. I was like, I didn't even know it existed. The ones who were benefiting from DEI were not even us. We're like at the bottom of that totem pole, I'm sure that my indigenous relatives, my cousins on the reservation, were not benefiting from any DEI. Didn't even know it existed. Didn't really benefit from affirmative action. As soon as they passed affirmative action, it was the white women who were benefiting from it. They don't do anything that's benefiting our community. They don't want us to work. They don't want us to have health care. They don't want us to go to school. They don't want us to eat. So we don't have an income because they passed laws. They don't want us to vote, but yet get pissed off because after they take all that away, we're still sitting here, we're still surviving, and we're still minding our own black business. And we will continue to do that. And thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to hit that like and share button, the subscribe button. And you can donate to me at Cash App, $ AWheels920. And also, make sure that you ask your questions, and remember that we're going to have a workshop pretty soon on the 22nd, and I will be following through with that, and we're going to have merch. We're going to have merchandise and, a lot to share, a lot coming up. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you soon.